Have you ever felt it? That strange pull towards someone, a feeling so strong it's almost magnetic? Have you started seeing their name everywhere, hearing it in random conversations, or watching it pop up on a sign or a screen? It can feel like the universe itself is trying to tell you something. You might have brushed it off, told yourself it's just a coincidence, a trick of the mind, that you're reading too much into things. But deep down, in that quiet place in your spirit, you have a feeling there's something more going on. Something you can't quite see but can feel with every part of your being. Let's explore that feeling together. What you're experiencing isn't necessarily a random series of chances. For people of faith, these aren't mere coincidences. They are seen as divine messages. This could be interpreted as God's way of showing you that you are occupying someone's mind so completely, they can't seem to shake the thought of you. In this belief, He is planting your name, your face, your essence into their heart, preparing them to come back to you, not by chance, but by divine appointment. This is a look into a spiritual belief about a supernatural movement, and you might just be feeling the ripples of what's to come, understanding why signs are sent. Before we get into the specific signs, it helps to understand the why behind them from a spiritual perspective. Why would the divine communicate in whispers, symbols, and synchronicities? In many faith traditions, God is seen as a God of order and purpose. He doesn't just throw people together. He is believed to weave their stories into a beautiful, intricate tapestry. What you may be feeling could be part of that divine blueprint being revealed. Think of it as a spiritual warm-up. When God intends to bring someone back into your life, the belief is that He prepares you both. He works on their heart, planting seeds of remembrance and longing. At the same time, He prepares your heart, tuning your spirit to the subtle signs of His work so that you won't dismiss them. You might even notice that any old anxiety you felt about this person starts to fade, replaced by a strange and unexplainable peace. Many interpret this as God clearing the emotional pathway between you. Now, it's true that psychology has explanations for many of these experiences. Concepts like confirmation bias or the frequency illusion, where you start noticing something everywhere once it's on your mind, are very real. But in the realm of faith, many believe that God often works through the natural to do the supernatural. He can use our own minds, our pattern-seeking brains, as a canvas for His messages. So as we explore these signs, I invite you to hold a dual perspective. Acknowledge the logical explanation, but don't be afraid to explore the spiritual interpretation. They don't have to be enemies. They can be two sides of the same coin. What you are sensing feels real, and it might just be happening for a reason. It could be God's way of telling you to pay attention because someone is thinking of you, and He is orchestrating the next chapter. The persistent echo of their name. Let's start with one of the most common yet powerful signs many people report: hearing or seeing their name over and over again. It might start small. You're scrolling online, and a post by someone with their name shows up. You think nothing of it. Then you're watching a movie, and the main character shares their name. A little weird, but still a coincidence. But then it keeps happening. You overhear a stranger say their name in a coffee shop. A cashier has their name on her tag. It gets to the point where it feels less like a coincidence and more like the universe is putting it right in front of you. Psychology has a name for this: the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, also called the frequency illusion. It's a cognitive bias, where once you're aware of something, your brain starts picking it out from all the noise around you. From a scientific view, the name isn't showing up more often. You're just noticing it more. And while that's a perfectly valid principle, it may not be the whole story from a spiritual viewpoint. Believers hold that God can use this very function of our minds to communicate. The idea isn't just that you're noticing it more, but that the Holy Spirit is intentionally highlighting these moments to get your attention. God knows how your mind works. He designed it after all. So He might use its natural tendencies to create a pattern so clear it cuts through the noise of your daily life. Each time you see or hear their name, it could be seen as a divine nudge, a whisper saying, "Yes, you're on the right track. Yes, they are thinking of you." It's a way God might confirm the connection you feel in your spirit. So, the next time you see their name on a cup or hear it on the radio, maybe pause for a second. Instead of just writing it off, you can choose to receive it as a small confirmation. A little note from the universe, telling you that you are deeply on their mind. The language of numbers. Divine synchronicities. The second sign is one that many who are on a spiritual journey become very familiar with. The language of repeating numbers. You glance at the clock, and it's 11:11. Later, a license plate with 222 catches your eye. Your receipt at a shop comes to $4.44. These sequences, often called angel numbers, are seen in many spiritual belief systems as coded messages from the divine realm, meant to offer guidance and confirmation. When these numbers show up again and again, especially when you happen to be thinking about this specific person, some believe they carry a profound message about your connection. Let's look at some common interpretations within these spiritual systems. Seeing 1111 is often thought to be one of the most powerful signs, like a spiritual gateway opening up. When you see it while thinking of someone, it's widely interpreted as a sign that your thoughts are aligned with your destiny. In relationships, some believe it's a marker of a soulmate or twin flame connection. It's like a divine nudge saying, "Pay attention, this connection is important." Then you have other numbers. The sequence 222 is often tied to balance, harmony, and partnerships. Seeing it can be interpreted as a message to keep the faith, that things are working out for the good of everyone involved. The number 333 is often linked to divine protection, a sign that your spiritual guides are supporting the connection. And 444 is seen as a powerful symbol of stability and angelic presence, reassuring you that you're on the right path. Of course, from a skeptical view, this could be seen as another cognitive bias called apophenia, our natural tendency to find meaningful patterns in random data. Our brains love patterns, and in a world filled with numbers, we're bound to notice sequences if we're looking for them. However, from a faith-based perspective, our pattern-seeking brain is exactly what God might use to speak to us. The synchronicity isn't just in seeing the number, but in the timing. Seeing it at the very moment that person crosses your mind. This link between an inner thought and an outer experience is what spiritual believers point to as evidence of something more than chance. It's interpreted as a sign that your energetic foundation is being laid for a reunion, and God is giving you these numerical winks to let you know everything is unfolding on a divine timetable. Dreams and the veil of night. The third sign often arrives in the quiet of the night, through the mysterious world of your dreams. You might find this person showing up in your dreams with a startling vividness. Maybe you dream of having a conversation, laughing together, or just feeling their peaceful presence. When you wake up, the feeling of the dream stays with you, a sweet, tangible echo that follows you through your day. Sleep science tells us that dreams are mostly a product of our subconscious mind. It's the brain's way of processing the day, sorting memories, and working through emotions. If you've been thinking about someone a lot, it's completely natural for them to appear in your dreams. But there's a deeper, spiritual layer to this that many cultures have honored for thousands of years. In these traditions, dreams are seen as more than just psychological processing. They can also be a portal to the spiritual realm, where the veil between souls is thinner. From this viewpoint, a vivid dream of someone can be interpreted as a form of energetic connection. The belief is that when someone is thinking of you with intense emotion, their energy can connect with yours in the dream state. It's not just your mind making things up. It's a genuine, though non-physical encounter. How can you tell the difference? Many suggest paying attention to the feeling of the dream. Dreams that are believed to be spiritual encounters often carry a distinct sense of peace and clarity. You wake up not with anxiety, but with a feeling of calm certainty. The dream feels less like a story you invented and more like a memory you just made. This is especially true if you haven't been consciously thinking about this person. Yet they suddenly appear in your dreams with incredible clarity. It might be a sign that they are the ones sending out the signal. When they show up in your dreams, you can choose to see it as a sacred meeting. It's another profound way of confirming that you are so deeply in their heart and mind that their spirit seems to be reaching out to yours, the unseen presence and sensory echoes. This next group of signs is maybe the most personal and, for many, the most surprising. It's when the connection seems to move beyond symbols and dreams and into your physical senses. It's the feeling of their presence when you're alone or sensing echoes of them in a tangible way. One experience is simply feeling their presence. You could be doing something ordinary, driving, reading, washing dishes, and suddenly, you get an overwhelming feeling that they are in the room with you. It's not a scary feeling, but a warm, comforting sense of their energy. The belief here is that strong thoughts create an energetic field. And if you're spiritually open to that person, you can feel their energy when their focus on you is intense. A second experience is smelling a scent that you strongly associate with them, with no source in sight. It could be their cologne or perfume, or the smell of their favorite coffee. Now, it's important to be grounded here. In the medical world, smelling an odor that isn't there is known as phantasmia, and it can have various physical causes. It is always wise to consult a doctor if symptoms like this are persistent or worrying. However, in a spiritual context, when these scents are fleeting, specific, and arrive when the person is on your mind, many interpret this as a powerful sign of their essence reaching out. A third experience is a sudden, unexplainable wave of emotion. You might be having a perfectly fine day when you're suddenly hit with a wave of joy, longing, or even sadness that you know isn't yours. This is sometimes described as emotional telepathy, the idea that you're picking up on what they are feeling because the energetic channel between you is open. Again, it's important to be grounded. Emotional shifts can be tied to many things, but when these waves feel distinctly other and align with the other signs you've been getting, it's worth considering the spiritual interpretation. It might be a way you're being allowed to feel a fraction of what's in their heart, a testament to how deeply you're running through their mind. The digital breadcrumbs and modern-day omens. In our hyper-connected world, it makes sense that spiritual signs might also appear in the digital realm. This fifth sign is all about digital breadcrumbs, the subtle online clues that might suggest their thoughts are turning toward you. This often shows up on social media. You post something, and you notice their name is one of the first to view it. Or maybe they like a very old photo of yours from years ago, a clear sign they've been scrolling through your profile. Perhaps their own posts start to subtly mirror your interests or hint at an inside joke that only you two would understand. On the surface, we absolutely have to acknowledge social media algorithms. These platforms are designed to show you people and content they think you're interested in. Their profile might be popping up more simply because the algorithm knows you have a past connection. However, when these digital moments are seen as part of a larger pattern of signs, they can take on new meaning. Many believers see this as more than just algorithms. It's the physical result of an energetic pull. Their constant thoughts about you may be creating an urge to check on you, to feel close in the only way they can right now. That accidental like on an old photo might have been a slip of the thumb during a moment of deep longing. This can also extend to what might be seen as modern omens through technology. Have you ever been typing a long, vulnerable message to them, only to have the app crash right before you hit send? Or you finally decide to call, and the call just won't connect? In a spiritual context, these glitches can be interpreted as divine intervention, a message of "not yet." It might be a sign of divine timing at play, protecting you both until the moment is right. On the flip side, you might find technology working in your favor. You open a music app and the first song that plays is your song. A video might be recommended to you that speaks directly to your situation. For a person of faith, these aren't just random data points. They are signs that God can use the tools of our time to deliver personal messages of confirmation, showing you that you are on their mind. How to know it's really from God? Receiving all of these signs can be exciting, but it's also a time for deep spiritual discernment. It's important to try and distinguish between what might be a true divine message and what might be our own wishful thinking. Guidance that is believed to come from God is meant to lead to peace, not anxiety. One way to seek confirmation is to ask for it. This is a practice many people of faith use. In a quiet moment of prayer or meditation, you can speak from the heart. Say something like, "God, if these signs are from you, please give me one clear sign that I can't mistake." You could ask to see something specific and a little unusual, like a white feather or a particular animal. Then you release it. Let go and just be observant. This act of asking and letting go shows faith and opens you to a clear answer. The second key to discernment is your own inner state. True signs from God are almost always believed to be accompanied by a feeling of deep peace. Even if the situation is complicated, thinking about it in the context of God's plan should bring a sense of calm. If, on the other hand, thinking about this person sends you into a spiral of anxiety, desperation, or obsession, that's often a sign to pause and recenter. God's voice, it is said, doesn't create confusion. It stills the storm inside. It is the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, that guards your heart and mind. Finally, it's helpful to avoid magical thinking. A single sign on its own might just be a coincidence. But the signature of what many believe to be a true divine movement is a cluster of signs. It's the name, and the numbers, and the dreams, and the digital crumbs, all woven together. When this pattern of signs is also met with that inner sense of peace, that's when you can feel more confident that you are not just imagining things, but perceiving a genuine message. So, we've walked through the kinds of signposts that many believe God uses to let you know you're on someone's mind. From the echo of their name and the language of numbers, to vivid dreams, sensory experiences, and even the digital breadcrumbs they leave behind. Remember, from a faith perspective, these aren't just random events. They can be seen as part of a divine story of connection and preparation orchestrated by a loving God. He might be showing you these things to give you hope, strengthen your faith, and prepare your heart. The spiritual belief is that this person can't stop thinking about you because God has purposefully placed you in their mind. Each thought is like a whisper from the Holy Spirit, urging them toward a moment of connection. Trust your intuition, but ground it in peace. You are not making this up. You are simply sensitive to a beautiful story that may be unfolding behind the scenes. The path is being cleared, and their heart is being prepared. Continue to walk in faith. Hold on to that peace and watch for the signs. A conversation may be coming. A connection ordained by God, many believe, will surely find its way. If this message resonated with you, please show your support by liking and sharing it with someone who might need this encouragement. More importantly, let's build a community of faith right here. Go to the comments and share your story. What signs have you been seeing? Which part of this message spoke to you? When we share our experiences, we affirm one another and strengthen our collective faith. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future messages of hope and guidance.